organization based here in Ghana. And what we do is we educate kids on the SDGs. We educate kids on the SDGs in hard to reach communities. And we focus on children who are, or students who are in basic 6, teaching them on the first 6 sustainable development goals. And then in junior high school, we teach them 7 to 12. We are hoping that this would be like a coherent civic entry for youth and make them active global citizens in their community, so as to create impact wherever they find themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Adrienne, you're up next. Adrienne, I'm not sure if you heard me. Oh, there we go. You're off mute.
No, I did. I was just looking for the mute button. That's all. So my name's Adrian Sullivan. I'm the Deputy Representative for UNICEF in the Eastern Caribbean area. And we cover programs with quite an interesting engagement in youth, actually, especially looking to link climate action with youth mobilization and empowerment, using all sorts of different platforms, but also looking at technology for development as a means to do that. So we are heavily investing in YOMA and Generation Unlimited. And there's obviously quite a lot to do there in terms of mobilizing youth, where we did a lot to get them involved in COP26 and all those kind of things. So interesting to listen to what others have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and definitely amazing work from the region. So hopefully we have time to hear a little bit more about it during the conversation. Abdul Rahman.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Linat Abdul Rahman. I work for an organization called Community Aid for Rural Development, CAD Ghana for short, and we are located in the Upper West region of Ghana. So at CAD, we have a number of programs we run. We have programs around agriculture. We have programs that are targeted at eradicating poverty among women and girls and the marginalized in society. Then we have others also targeting education and child rights. We have a number of them, but currently we have an active program called She Leads, and it's an advocacy project that seeks to advocate for space and then at both household level, community level, and the national level at large around session that I just, thank you.
Thank you, Lena. And sorry, you were breaking up a little bit there, but I think we got most of that. This group has grown quite a bit, so I'm going to propose changing strategy a little bit. Otherwise, we may run out of time to have conversations. So maybe we can move to our first question. I would love to hear if any of you have been involved in a VNR process before, either as a representative of government, as a representative of UNICEF, or an NGO organization who has been partnering on this. And it will be great then if whoever is willing to share experience and hasn't had a chance to introduce themselves does the introduction as part of sharing their experience. So the floor is open for anybody. I hope we have some experiences already from the VNR processes.
Just to say, no, I have had no experience at all. It's the first time I've actually heard of VNR, so I'm new to this, and I'm just trying to work out what kind of work requirement is going to be required to lift this, because it's obviously an extra thing that's coming on our work plan for the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone who's worked on the VNR process directly? And feel free to just unmute yourself. I'm following the chat as well. I'm seeing that for Love Aid, I see your hand is raised. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, please. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Princess Lovia Tete from Ghana. And so in 2019, I joined the VNR process, reporting on health. So in regards to the activity we did, we're into teenage mothers who were out of school and trying to find a means of livelihood. So what we did was to visit a hospital. We used a hospital as a case study, where we got the teenage mothers there, trained them on how to go back to school after birth, and we gave them some, how should I say it? We gave them some packages, because some were pregnant at that time and had to give birth. So we gave them some packages to support them through their hospital processes. So it's quite challenging when you have teenage mothers coming from the rural setting to the urban areas for healthcare, and the access in the rural areas has always been a challenge. They don't have user-friendly services, and some of the hospitals do not have the right facilities to host them. So it was a big challenge to them. So it was an opportunity to know how our teenage mothers or our youth, the young girls who are pregnant, how they were faring, some of the challenges they face, and we reported on it at the VNR process. So basically, that's the lessons so far that I can share on that.
Thank you so much for sharing that experience, and really commendable, that you engaged with a group that I think very often, due to the stigma, but also due to many logistical reasons, is not engaged in consultations like this. So that's really fantastic to hear, and really great to hear, the strategy of going to where these young women could be found. Mohammed, I see you have your hand up. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And good afternoon to everybody. Good morning, wherever you may be. For us, we target young survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, most especially survivors of child marriages in the Upper East region, where we try to give them vocation, but also try to inform them on their rights and responsibilities as citizens, as community members. We do this through faith or worship centers. So for example, in churches, we target the youth choir. In the mosques, we go for the youth wing and discuss these issues to identify and also empower these, most especially girls who are survivors of child marriages. And then we give them skills so that they can be economically independent and ensure that they also inform others. So we train them as champions, but also as educators to their peers who also suffer same issues. So basically, this is what we do in terms of creating awareness, but we mainly do it through worship centers, churches, mosques, and other worship centers.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mohammed. I think, again, to that point of going where children and young people are and reaching them in their spaces and in their communities is a really key strategy, particularly for, awareness raising and engagement and education. So I want to see if there's any other colleagues who have directly been involved in a VNR, or even if you have relevant experience from other types of consultations or processes to engage children and youth in decision making, and you have lessons learned from that, which would be useful to colleagues who might be approaching a VNR in the near future, that would be really helpful to hear. Benjamin, I see your hand is up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Benjamin, Executive Director for Patient Friend Foundation in Ghana. I'm the Greater Accra Chairman for Child Rights. Yeah, basically what we do is that we engage the children in schools, in remote areas. We educate them, we create awareness on adolescents. And also we do health screening. We screen them on malaria and other mineral diseases. We screen them, and if we find any other difficult issue, we refer them to the nearest facility. Where a facility takes care of a child and we realize that a child cannot afford, we do the follow-up, take the data of the child, and then help assist the children for them to be out of the facility. Basically, that is what we do. We mostly go to the rural areas. We have tete-a-tete with the children. We ask them what their problems are. We get to know what their problems are, and then we try to resolve and then tell the parents that these are some of the things that even in Ghana, we have free education now. So we don't have to allow your child or children to indulge in any child labor work at that age. But poverty, how do we sustain the families such that their children will go to school and their children will not work? That is another topic for another discussion. So what we have to do is that we try as much as possible to talk to the parents, to let the children go to school, maybe after school. Any other thing that they can assist in the house or maybe at a farm, they just go there and then do. But just to say that the children will not have to go to school, they have to go to the farm or do any hard labor work for them to earn an income. That is what we speak against. So mostly all the time, we are in touch with the children. This is what I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those lessons and experiences. I see a few hands up. I'm not sure if some of them are new hands or old hands, but I think Bilal, you haven't spoken yet. So if you'd like to, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Kate. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. So my name is Bilal. I'm from the Supreme Council for Motherhood and Childhood in the United Arab Emirates. Basically, what we do, we're a government entity that ensures the well-being, all matters related to the well-being of mothers and children in the country. We do this through developing strategic plans in collaboration with the UNICEF in the Gulf region, conducting research studies, implementing initiatives, wide-scale initiatives. So I'm just gonna share my experience from our end, how we enforce the right of child participation. So as many countries, especially in Europe, did it, established a parliament for children. And this parliament was divided into a number of committees, meaning that there was a committee for health, there was a committee for education, etc., and so on. And they do hold sessions just like a normal parliament. They discuss issues that they are facing. They come up with solutions. They propose solutions, and then these solutions, if they're feasible, they're studied by the other governmental entities and and then it goes on. And I'm just willing to hear if there are any other experiences about how other entities involve children in the decision-making process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bilal. So if anyone wants to, I see we have a hand from Juliana. And then if there's time, Bilal, I have a question for you. But Juliana, please take the floor and we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Juliana, your audio is very, very faint. I'm wondering if you can maybe come a little bit closer to the microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hello.
Better. That's much better. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also deal with women and children, especially this Kayayi, the headquarters, and they have a lot of challenges, even at times where to even put their children before they go around and then carry their loads to get something for the day. And at the end of the day, even where they sleep, some of them even sleep at the marketplaces. I visit them, I hold programs for them, screening programs, health education for them. But I believe that is not enough because they lack shelter. they lack shelter. Although I don't deal with them alone, I deal with also these vulnerable in general, but I mean mainly this Kayayi, because they are more exposed. So at the end of the day, you realize that you go and do all kinds of programs for them, free NHIS for them, and the health education, but the children are so much exposed. So at the end of the day, they end up with this teenage pregnancy, and the cycle continues. So my burden right now is how to get a center. We need to get shelters. We need to get shelters for these people, and that is where we can actually establish something in their life. We need to get homeless shelters so that we can place these people in, and then we can be able to visit them well, get some of them rehabilitated. Some of them are depressed. They are just, I mean, they are off. They have all kinds of psychiatric challenges and then financial challenges. Though they are carrying the loads, they go some other under day. Some of them do not even make any ends meet for a day. What they will eat, what they will pay for them to be able to sleep at where they rent to sleep. So if we are to really do something and get these children protected, then I believe that we need these homeless shelters across board where we can house them, go to them, visit them, help them, and then be ready to support them. Some of them are ready even to go back to school. Some of them are even SHS graduates that they have finished, or and then JHS graduate that they have finished school and they just need continuation, but no help. And some of them are very little, children. So if we can get something like that, they'll be rehabilitated. I mean, we can get a training center alongside a home science center where they can be trained so that each of them will be able to, capture whatever trade that he or she feels that she can be able to get a trade and earn something out of it. And at the same time, they will be protected. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that experience, Juliana. I think it really underscores, the interconnectedness and interdivisibility of children's rights, and how, while we're talking right now about awareness and engagement, there is also this really, really critical need to fulfill the basic rights for many children. I wanted to come back. Oh, sorry, Mohammed, you wanted to go ahead?
Yes. Another space for dark space for children that we are exploring is children in traditional settings. In Ghana, the culture doesn't give much space for children to air their views, to be educated, to do all those things. So as an organization, we are looking into that because we have a very good working relation with traditional authority in Ghana, and we want to explore that. And I think it's a very good and a very dark area that children are suffering in those areas. So we need to look at that. Second is Bilal, if you are here, you can drop your email. I really want to have a discussion with you after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, and really great to hear about, that work that needs to be done to also change the minds and change the attitudes of various decision makers, whether that's in the family or the community level. I think a key part of creating the right conditions for the participation and engagement of children and young people is making sure that there are adult allies and people who support them and who take them seriously. And in many places around the world, that's still a challenge. And Bilal, that was my question to you about the parliament was kind of in line with that. I wanted to know how, within that context, you work to ensure that these young people who are part of these structures are taken seriously by the adults that they interact with them. So if you have any reflections to share on that, it would be really great to hear.
Yeah, of course, Kate, no problem. So the Children's Parliament in the UAE is like a mirror of the actual National Council, where they have the Parliament sessions. They usually are aligned with their agenda. So if they're gonna discuss a specific problem or a specific issue, they do that as well. But from their point of view, from the children's point of view, obviously they prepare before the session. We help them as well. We supervise them if they need any help in getting access to resources or to research. And then they come up with these solutions. They present these solutions. They explain it, and then the ministries, whether it was the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, they listen to them. Usually there are representatives in the parliament who are listening to these children, and they take their issues and then study them and see if there's a room for implementation.
Thank you so much. Really great to hear that experience. So we have about 4 minutes left. I just wanted to see if there's others who haven't had a chance to speak yet who want to share their experiences. And then I see Laurencia has a hand up, but let me just see if there's anyone else who hasn't had a chance to speak yet who'd like to. You can either raise your hand using the raise hand feature or just turn on your mic and feel free to speak. If not, Laurencia, I don't know if that's a new hand, but if it is, please feel free.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, thanks everybody for sharing your experiences. I've just been sitting back, reflecting on all of that. And I was just thinking of your point you made, Kate, on consulting with children. And, you know, when we are asking kids to make decisions, actually, it has to first start with educating them on what their rights are, so that they are aware of what they need to ask for or what decisions they can make. And that actually fits into what we do as at Move the World. When we educate kids on the SDGs, we are promoting active learners and through experiential learning. And then we always ask for their feedback through our debriefing strategy. And most of the time, some of the questions that these young people or these young kids ask would kind of like baffle you. And then it kind of like reflects or highlights the situations that they face at home. For example, when someone says that, no, a girl can't be a firefighter. Actually, it's not a firefighter, it's a fireman. I'm like, wait, but that is another story. But yeah, I just wanted to just share a little of my experience working with kids, that you need to actually like educate them on their human rights. They need to have like an in-depth understanding of what these human rights are. And when I say human rights, I mean child rights, and how they can access this right. It's not just about telling them that, oh, okay, you have the right to education, and then that's it. You need to actually like go down and break it down to them that actually you do have right to quality education. Your parents need to provide for you, the government needs to provide for you. And when they are making decisions, they can have those bases as fundamental or foundations that they could stand on to make demands of their rights.
Thank you so much for those really important points. I think, you know, it also reminds me of how, you know, it's not just about telling young people, educating them, children and young people. It's also about making these rights come alive to them and for them to understand how they're relevant in their lives, and then also how they can claim those rights, which of course in practice can be much more complicated, and there is many barriers to that. But that's kind of the starting point. So I think we're supposed to go back to the main room. I don't know if they're going to close all our rooms automatically, or if we need to manually go back. But I wanted to thank all of you for sharing your experiences. This is a really deep, rich topic. There are a lot of really fantastic UNICEF resources on how to work with children and young people in a meaningful and sustainable manner. We have only just skimmed the surface today, and you know, something like this doesn't allow us to go deeply as possible. possible. But if you're interested, I shared a resource in the earlier chat. There's also a training, an Agora training, which I believe is available to everyone, including external partners, about engagement and participation, as well as another one on safeguarding. I will share those links to make sure that everybody has them. But thank you again. And if we can all go back to the main room, I would really appreciate that.
I had a question, Kate. I don't know
Sure.
if I should just email you or like send you a message directly. I wanted to know how NGOs or CSOs could engage in this VNR and what the criteria are for that.
Lorenzo, I'll send you a message in the chat because I do think we all have to click the leave room button and go back. But it's a very good question, and I will I'll send you a message now. Thanks so much, everyone. If you can all just click, there should be a leave room button to go back to the main room.